It is a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning, new week. Welcome to SimWorld today, the number one show here on SimWorld TV. I am B.
You
Ron.
know it.
Alongside me is my host, Yells. Good morning. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great as long as we are the number one show in the morning slot. Look, we'll respect everybody else. We don't want to have all that
Yeah,
beef on SimWorld TV. We're the number one show in the morning slot. Some of
correct,
y'all
correct.
other crews, y'all can have the afternoon, but we're getting it jumped off in the mornings. Good to be here
Yes,
with you, B.
sir.
Ron. I'm excited this morning, though.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I'm excited too. And I'll tell you why people listening at home and watching at home, whatever. Because we have the first guest on SimWorld today. Is the number one player in all of Texas, Arthur Lattimore. Good morning, young man. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing all right. It's a pleasure to have you here with us this morning. Thank you for, getting the time in however you could to talk to us this morning. We appreciate you.
Nah, we're gonna stop right there
Yes.
because I want to know: did you sneak away? What did you do, Arthur? How are you on this call this morning?
Hey, I'm in between classes. Let's just say that I'm in between
All
classes.
right, we'll work it out. Appreciate it.
Hey, yeah, fair enough. Look, we do appreciate you joining us here, and let's just jump into some questions here. First one I got for you is pretty simple. How was your first season in SimWorld Prep last season, playing in Cascadia and going through the recruiting process, all that? So, how did you like all of that?
It was great. It was definitely an eye-opening experience. It opened my eyes to a lot of things that SimWorld had to bring. As far as the competition, it was top notch. Just wish we could have got a little bit further, but Coach Pope taught me a lot, and loved playing with my teammates at Cascadia. It was a good time.
Fantastic. All right. Sounds good to me. Next question I got here is, what was your favorite moment of your first season?
It was probably in the All-Star game. When they put they put the big lineup out there, that was really exciting. And being able to bring our team back and get the win was really fun. Being able to play point guard, that's a lifelong dream of mine. So being able to run the point was fun, and being able to come back and get that victory was a great time.
Being able to run the point, huh? And you did that lineup. That was crazy that Coach put out there. That was great for us to watch and getting to see you do a few different things. I know I had a question here, B. Run. You can get to everything
Yeah,
you
go for
got.
it.
Wanted to throw mine, but that's a perfect segue. Here you go. Rick Blaze says that you remind him more of I forget who it was. It was a power post kind of play. I say that I
Like
see a
Larry
lot of
Johnson,
what's that?
was it Larry Johnson?
Yeah,
I think you
LJ,
mentioned.
old school LJ with the part straight down the middle, just kind of powering through
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
I definitely see that as a
yeah.
part of your game. We saw it last season, but I say that I see you as more of a Carmelo Anthony on the block, showcasing a lot of different things. And then a lot of people have a lot of other opinions about what your game is. So we're gonna get it straight from the horse's mouth. Maybe you're not there yet, but as far as what you're modeling your game after, is there any of those names that jump out, or if it's not, who do you model your game after?
I actually see myself the first season. I was moving LJ, but I'm trying to transition to more of a Carmelo. I'm trying to get that mid range and get a little bit more consistent on the 3 point line and being able to handle the ball a little bit better when it gets to my areas. So I kind of want to be able to go between the three and the four. So LJ definitely is probably how I played last year, but I'm trying to transition more into a Carmelo Anthony mold. That's probably more realistic in the future how I want to play, but I definitely see Rick's point in my first year because I did have that LJ game, but I do want to kind of expand it a little bit.
Got you. Inside out for now, as long as you got that power advantage over players. I understand. Buron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the last question that I have for you is, what has been the biggest lesson on or off the court that you are planning on taking into season two?
That's good. That's a good question. I think just the work ethic and continue to work. I think that's one thing that I learned early on that I had to be a little bit more engaged to get to the point where I wanted to be. Started off slow, but I think talking to Coach Pope and then some of my teammates, it kind of got me into that work ethic, and I'm kind of living by that day to day now, 2 a days up until the season starts now. I just think the work ethic is very important, especially in sim work because there's so much competition and somebody can put 40 on your head at any moment. So you
Yeah.
definitely have to be ready and take the right take the right preparation and work to get to the point where you want to be.
Look, I'm gonna add this last question out here. Actually, not last question. Got a couple more for you. Since you said it, Arthur, you just
Mm-hmm.
brought it. You brought up the word defense, right? I'm not knocking your
Mm-hmm.
defense. I know that's not the primary focus for most kids' games now. You know, it's out there about getting buckets. Keep in mind, coaches, college scouts, and all that are listening in. We know your game right now for offense, but on the
Yeah.
defensive end, if you had to say there's an area that you say is your strongest area on the defensive end, what is it?
I would say it's probably rebounding and running a break, starting a break. I definitely want to be more of a presence in the paint, and that's what I'm working on this summer. Being more of a presence in the paint on the helping on the weak side as well as defending the paint. If somebody coming in there trying to get a little bit more blocks or a little bit more intimidations. But last year, I think it was just trying to get in the ball and trying to run and get out in the open break was probably my biggest, I guess, transition was probably my biggest defensive efforts. But I think I that's one thing I do want to work on, and I am working on that this summer to get better.
Got you. Okay. All right. All right. Then my last question is: this upcoming season, you see, we respect you guys. We respect Legacy Group. Uh, we respect boundaries
Oh
around here.
no.
Right. So I'm not gonna get out of
I know
bounds,
this is
man. It's
going.
Monday
I know this
morning.
is
I
going.
don't get out of bounds till around Wednesday. But no, Arthur, who are you looking forward to? Yeah, this is no beef. What I know how kids take everything, but I'm just saying, who are you looking forward to matching up against this upcoming season? After you've seen what people had to offer, and you've seen some of these new recruits coming in, popping off at the mouth, or just being respectful. You've seen some footage from them. Who are you looking forward to going up against?
Well, I definitely looking forward to going against the old heads, Trey Hyman and Yams. I love going against them. But I do want to test. There are a lot of young guys coming here. Kind Killings is one of the guys I respect, but I would love to put my try to go up against him and see how I can perform and
Think,
just see
and I
how I can
think you
do on
cut
the
out
wing.
for us. Everyone, Arthur's called in for us. I think you cut out on who that was. You said, if you could repeat it for us.
The last one,
Yeah,
probably Kai Killings. I want to
I killed
see.
him. Okay.
Kai. Okay.
Yeah. I want to see kind of how they will work. See how my game would, how I'm trying to transition my game and how I can attack him on the perimeter and also defend him. So he's kind of one of the recruits I've had my eye on that's coming in and would love to share the court and match up with him one on one if we need be or as a team aspect. So that's one of the guys I have my eye on.
Yeah.
At least new.
Good
Okay.
stuff. So no stirring the pot on a Monday, right? But Kai, he's coming
No,
for
no,
your
I'm gonna keep
neck.
it
He's
clean.
coming for your neck, Kai. That's what I just heard. He's coming for you. Well, look, B Run, is there any other questions you have for Arthur? Arthur, anything you want to say to the fans? Anything out here? We want to respect your time, get you back to class because we know that the academics comes first, as of right now, at
Most
least,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Most definitely. No, I just want to appreciate it. It's been a fun first season. I can't wait for the second one. This week is going to be crazy. I just look forward to all the new recruits and the returning guys to look against them and share the pole with them.
All
All
right.
right. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Arthur,
Thank you.
again for joining us this morning. We really appreciate you. You have a good rest of your day, young man. Good luck.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon. Good morning. Excuse me.
Thank you. You too. That was Arthur Lattimore, everyone. Again, we appreciate him being on with us this morning. And while we were talking to Arthur, there was actually some breaking news that came in over the old airwaves this morning. Because as we know, the soft commit period is going on. Started yesterday, and it's going into October 7th. And then we'll have the hard commit period, which will start October 8th. Anyway, all that being said, I don't know. I don't know if this is a surprise to anybody, but it's breaking kind of this big news in the sense of it's happened. Xavier Pope, the number one ranked recruit in in California from the Pacific region, has soft committed to the Bay Area Breakers, which again, like I said, maybe not a surprise to anybody because we knew this was gonna happen. But hearing it, you know, come across is still nice in of itself. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, to be honest. I I would say Yeah, I'm not shocked. That's all it is to it. We heard a lot of stuff about him going a lot of different places. But I mean, this is where he was last season. He said it all along. He's coming back to the Bay, yay, yay, and that's where he is. So he said he's coming back. Soft commit. I know nothing's final right there until the hard commit, but in my expectation, that's where he is. I think I'm already kind of looking forward to seeing. We saw the news earlier this morning. Jamie Ramos, who is an extremely talented kid, he's pretty big too. I think he's around
Hmm.
6'8", 6'9". Is going to be joining Bay Area. Now we got Xavier Pope soft commit as well
Yep.
to rejoin along with Trey Hyman and some of the other pieces there. I kind of get the feeling that they're going to look a lot like last season where they may end up
Yeah.
stacked. You got Trey Hyman, Sean Hyman, Xavier, and Jamie
Ronnie
Ramos on the
Shanahan.
books right now. Expected to be
And
on the books. So I'm not sure what else is in store where you run that offense through, but we shall see.
yeah, and if Ronnie Shanahan's coming back, then that'll be a whole other thing too to add him to the mix. He'd be point guard over there, I'd imagine. So yeah, it's looking like you said, it's looking a lot like last season, where they're super stacked at the top, and there's not going to be enough ball to go around,
Yeah.
so to speak. But
Yep.
we'll see. We'll see how all that goes. Moving on to the other side of the lines, there, coaches. We had over the weekend. We've had a lot of coaches. Those coaches, either rejoin teams or move to different teams, or if you're the Indy Stripes, get a completely new head coach and start that new era over there. We had Coach Lovelace go from Lakeshore Drive to the Heartland Zombie Stars. We saw the return of coaches De Leon to Latin America, and Coach Lytle back in the league to beat Beyond the Arch. And now we have Coach Shiragane coaching the Indy Stripes as a new head coach joining the league.
You
A lot of
forgot
these
one.
moves,
You
I
forgot
did.
one.
Who did I forget?
You forgot one. Lakeshore Drive owner
Oh
Rosante
yes,
Vance
yeah,
said, "You know what?
yes,
I'm gonna do it myself." Don't you forget
yeah.
that. That's wild.
Yep, you're right. I read that. I did forget about him. Thank you for the reminder there. So all of that being said, there's a lot of coaches that have either came back, joined teams, or moved teams, joined the new teams, that kind of stuff. And with this hard commit period here and approaching, and the hard commitment coming next week, does that is that a too little, too late kind of thing for coaches, or is that like does that put any of them at a disadvantage? There was a post that went out the other day talking about it too. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Because personally, like, I feel like a lot of the if you're a new or returning coach, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because you haven't had the time to do things like Coach Lovelace did. Even though he was with Lakeshore and he's now with Heartland, he still has those players that he was talking to. Maybe he can convince them to join him at in Heartland versus Lakeshore. It's a lot of things to think about there.
Yeah, I'll play devil's advocate here. I do think that
Okay.
obviously some of those relationships are already built, so the tenured coaches are at an advantage, right? But I also think that some of the, I always talk about these kids being fickle, making up their minds, one decision 1 minute, one another decision the next. So it's a really, hey, what's new? It's a what's new kind of attitude. You know what I mean? It's what's the hot thing. You know what I'm saying? A song come on the radio right now, and it may be the jammingest song you've heard all year, but it's only good for them for about a week till the next thing comes out. Next thing don't
Yeah.
even have to be good. It just has to be new. So I think some of these incoming coaches, if they've been following SimWorld Prep, if they've had their eyes on things and they've done the recruiting in their area, they've watched the film, they know who's good, they know who's not. I think they can jump right in there and they can make some waves because some of these guys may not have been contacted. It's all about how active you are in the recruiting session. It's all about how much info you get, the data, you know the information on what it is you want to go after, and then from there you target and you take action. You don't take action, you just kind of sit around. There's no difference between a tenured coach and a coach that just joined if they're not taking action. So I'm gonna say some of these guys are in good shape, and I know for a fact a couple of them that are just came in that news have just broke as of the last couple of days are already on their recruiting grind and have already
Good.
made some big offers out there trying to ink some people in. So I think they'll be surprised. I think there'll be some surprises. I don't think they're too late to the party. I think anybody that has not been active is too late to the party. You're tardy to the party.
Okay, that makes sense. When you put it that way, yo, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not gonna say you've swayed me or anything, but I see your point of view and I see where you're coming from, and I agree with you in that sense.
Hey
So at
man,
least
the
we're on the same page
tattoo
there.
on my arm. I got the tattoo on my arm. The
Yeah,
song's called "Never Too Late" by 3 Days Grace. Look it up. Really good rock song. I
yeah,
have it for a
yeah,
reason. I don't think it's ever too late to do anything. It's all about if you want to accelerate that action or if you want to slow down that action. Time is a thing. Time is a thing, but you can manipulate it if you going hard in the paint. So
yeah. That makes absolute perfect sense to me, man. Perfect sense to me. Um, sorry, words are hard this morning.
it's
uh,
Monday. It's
yeah,
Monday.
yeah, exactly,
I got you,
exactly.
man. Look, I'll jump
Yeah,
out there.
yeah,
So we talk a lot about progression and things that may happen this upcoming season in terms of moving forward or who's going to
right.
be better or, who has the recruiting advantage. What are we looking forward to? I think what we're going to talk about here for a second is out of all the things that should be looking to progress, right? B-Ron, what teams and or players do you see taking a step backwards in this season two in SimWorld Prep?
Okay, yeah, yeah. This is a good question. I like it. I like it. So, I'm gonna focus solely on teams here as a whole.
Okay.
And I know, I almost said Big E, Big Bob,
Big
Big
E.
Bob.
Big E Langston?
Yeah, yeah,
Big, hey, he needs to be Big N. That boy, he's never returned from the broken neck. Come on back, Big E. New Day's
yeah.
not the same without you.
Need him back. Yeah. But Big Bob and
WWE reference
Ilava
for
did
y'all. Sorry,
their
guys.
yeah. Big Bob and Ilava did their show the other day, and they were talking about similar thing. Um, and I had a few come to mind for me personally. Beyond the Arch and In These Stripes are mine too. And though those may be more obvious picks, quote unquote. But given that rosters are not final yet, we can only go based off of what we have here. And for Beyond the Arch, my biggest reason for them being here is the loss of Tyson Simpson. It's a big blow to them, and they have to replace that his presence and play, which are could be difficult things to do. And then for Indy, obviously the big blow up that happened, the fallout from all that, lost, both James brothers, White Williams, um, Johan Novajovic is gone. They also had a talent there. They still have Reza Red there on the roster as of right now. Marcellus Brungo, Sean Chipman Daly, Jay Luss is also still there. But still, that's a lot of talent also to lose in that regard. And at times, that team looked really good. They looked like they could have been, in that middle echelon of teams, but they never really got over the hump last season to do it. And with the loss of all of those players, all that shooting, all that scoring, that's again you can replace it, but based off of what we see right now, I don't know if that happens.
Yeah. I got three teams that come to mind when we talk about who falls off the map, right?
Yep.
Number one, I go Bad Boys Basketball. Lorenzo
Okay.
Phenom, everybody wants to dog them out, but at least they had an identity. I don't know what Bad Boys Basketball is. Haven't heard much from their coach. Maybe he lays low. Don't know what he's doing recruiting wise. So I think this team, by default of not having an identity that we know of anyway, I think they could be a struggling team. I know Samuel Bogus is still there. Maybe they build more around him. Him and Malcolm Chamberlain looked great on the pick and roll last year. And Bo Pagnotti Posse, what up?
Yes, sir.
I know they're still there, but I think they regress because I don't think they have a true number one. I'm with you on the BTA, but yeah, like I said, different direction for me. Another team I think is going to be on the outs, Run DMV. I think they have a drastic drop off, in my opinion. No Nick Hugo, who I think is the motor that ran that team. As much as I love John Hudgens, as much as I love Keith Singleton, as much as I love Malik Duffin, the Duffin man. I just think they're going to struggle this season
Yeah.
because new coach coming in trying to establish what it is he wants to do. You also don't have the heart and soul of that team there, so I think they're going to be struggled. I think they're going to struggle. And then my number one, I think this team. Hey, I love players on this team. There's two particular players on this team that I love dearly. What they do on the court and how hard they play and how hard they work. I think Southeast Selects falls off the map this upcoming season.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think Trey Turner was more than just a shooter. He was a player,
Yeah.
when we talk
I agree.
about focal points of a team, he was a player that he altered every part of your defensive game plan and strategy. Not just because he could shoot, but because he stretched the court, opened up the
Mhm.
court. He ran off of screens. He could put the ball on the floor, but by default and just by happenstance of what his game was and just how lethal he was, he made everybody else on your team better because they would get easier shots. Not to mention, he was the most clutch player down the stretch. If you needed fourth quarter buckets, a lot of times we'd see him have around 6, 8 points heading into the fourth quarter, and then he would end the game somewhere near 25 because he would start putting the ball in the hole. Southeast Select doesn't have that anymore. What do they do? And how do you feel that kind of hole? So Southeast Select, I think they take that Tom Brady type drop off that people try and joke about all the time.
Look, man, that's gonna be really interesting to see how all of that shakes out as far as who falls off, who doesn't. But let's get into our final topic of the morning, shall we? Brian Webb, he has committed himself to the Ohio State University to play basketball next season. Heartland Zombie Star, Ground Zero season was a key player over there. Final season took maybe a little bit of back seat, some would say. It was surprising to me to see him take a little bit of back seat, but happy to see him committing to Ohio State to continue playing basketball the upcoming season.
Hey, I'm all about it. You know I like Brian Webb's game. I think he's a chucker. I'm just gonna say it, but I do love the way he attacks the basket. Reminds me of how Mike Conley came in at first at the Ohio State for Ohio State, excuse me, but way more aggressive in attacking the lane. I think those fans up there, those Buckeye fans, are going to be going absolutely bonkers when he does so.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to see what he does in his career. Congratulations, sir! Another young man coming out of SimWorld Prep that is going on to do big things on the collegiate level. That makes me happy for obvious reasons. So congratulations, sir.
absolutely, absolutely. And with that, everyone, our show for the day is done. Let's get out of here. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you as always. Starting off your week right on the right foot here.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Arthur, for joining us this morning.
yes,
As my mom would say, get your lesson. Make sure you're getting your lesson this morning, Arthur. But thank you for joining us this morning.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. And thank you all for joining us as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another show. And remember, just because it's the off season does not mean that here in SimWorld you can't see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow morning.